Salute Raider Nation. We're back again. Time to recap preseason. Sorry, you guys. It just cut out. My laptop just restarted. Um, but let's start it up. Let's start it up. Salute to the nation. If this is your first time joining Raiders Primos, join that Boricua party and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We just got over 500 subscribers, you guys. So let's continue growing. Also, hit that like button if you want to push this video out to more Raider fans just like yourself. Also, hit the bell so you guys are not missing anything Raiders Primos related. And yes, let's get into it. Sean and Van City, you guys are trolling. Salute Primos, Nathan Peterman, baby. Raider Nation for life. Van City, Nathan Peter GOAT is back, baby. We found our quarterback one. In case anybody cannot read the room and read the sarcasm in Van City and Sean Johnson's text, even though Van City, he actually wants to fight and he doesn't want to say sarcasm, but we know it is. Yes, the Raiders have signed Nathan Peterman back with the Las Vegas Raiders while waiving Keelan Doss, our wide receiver. He didn't even get any playing time, I believe, in week one. But yes, Nathan Peterman is back. And excuse me, who is saying it's sarcasm? Van City, all love, bro, but I'm saying it's sarcasm. I'm calling BS to that statement. Nathan Peterman is likely just going to fight for a quarterback 3 position with Brown and Bradley. But I'm going to be honest, you guys, why? I don't understand the signing whatsoever. I know a lot of people are saying it makes sense because he understands Getsy's system. You know, he worked with Getsy when he was with the Chicago Bears, but Nathan Peterman was never the starter there. He wasn't even the backup to the starter. He was the backup to the backup. What are we doing here? I don't understand this sign. This signing needs to make sense. I don't understand it whatsoever. I really don't get it whatsoever. I don't think anybody can help me understand the signing of Nathan Peterman. Like, please, someone explain it to me. I swear that's AP and Tommy's revenge on Gruden for rocking with Andy Reid. We know damn well he was pounding on Brett Beats' desk for Peter Goat. Maybe it might. Hey, that's a big maybe though. But yeah, let's recap, you guys. The Las Vegas Raiders took on the Minnesota Vikings in preseason week 1. The Vikings ended up coming back down 20 to 7, and they ended up coming back scoring 17, outscoring the Raiders 17-3 and winning 24-23 in the second half. And a lot of people were already like freaking out about it. I'm trying to get like the box score up, you guys. Like my computer just shut down by itself. But I wanted to get the box score. But in the first half, you guys, let's talk about it. The first half, we completely dominated, going into halftime up 20-7. JJ McCarthy could not get anything going against our starting defense. Yes, Sam McDonald, or is it Sam McDonald? Sam Darnold. I said Sam McDonald. I'm thinking about Josh McDaniels too much, you guys. Sam Darnold went 4 for 8 for 59 yards. He had no touchdowns, no interceptions. He had a passer rating of 74.5. Really didn't do much against our starting defense. Enter JJ McCarthy. Again, he didn't really do anything, having a couple of 3-and-outs and also having an interception against the Raiders starting defense. In regards to the Raiders starting offense, you have Aiden O'Connell, who went 7 for 9, had a very, very long drive. He has 76 yards passing, took 1 sack, had a passer rating of 101.9, had no touchdowns, no interceptions. You had Zamir White with 6 carries, 23 yards. He did have a touchdown that was on Minshew's drive. But yes, he also hooked up with Jacoby Myers on a 24-yard passing play. Jacoby had 3 catches for 45 yards, also hit Brock Bowers on a 16-yard passing play with 2 catches, 25 yards. And that was pretty much it. A lot of people are hating on that first drive and specifically on that sack. And salute to Sanji on YouTube. He broke down the play and he gave blame to O'Connell, and I give blame to O'Connell too, but a little bit, because where could O'Connell go with the football? When you look at that play, you have 2 receivers going into each other. And yes, he has his check down. He could have went to his check down. But he was trying to give Tucker and Bowers a chance to make a play, try to get open, maybe in the back of the corner of the end zone. Maybe Bowers can move over, to his left a little bit more. He doesn't feel his blind side. Pete gets blown up, and Turner had a free walkway, free open ticket to go and sack the quarterback. I don't think that there was a lot of blame to put on AOC. Only the fact that he didn't get the ball out, and we only scored 3 points in the red zone. We had a red zone opportunity, and it was wasted. And we put up 3 points, and that's not going to cut it. In the regular season, you got to finish red zone drives off with touchdowns. But I'm hoping that Getsy can get the play calling right, because you cannot have your receivers running into each other. We've seen that in the first year under Josh McDaniels with Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow, having 2 guys running into each other that cost us the game. And in this case, it cost us a touchdown. And pretty much cost us the game when you go look back at it. So you can't be having that in the regular season, but we can't act like Andrews Pete is going to be the starting left tackle come week 1. That's not going to happen. So I expect that play to not even happen with Aiden O'Connell. I believe you're going to have Colton Miller at the left tackle position, and you're going to have Darren Mumford at the right tackle position. And Colton Miller's not going to get blown up like that. Like, let's just be honest here. Primos is more stale than a popcorn fart. Man, Van City, I'm gonna block you, bro, but you my moderator, so I can't block you. Okay, in all seriousness, he is the dilemma. With AOC, no one, including himself, knows his ceiling. And the drive that he had against the Vikes looked phenomenal, but it broke down on him via Pete at the very end. With Minshew Mania, he has been a perennial starter his entire career, and he has proven over and over again that all he does is win somehow, some way. He's just never got a true shot at being a starter. And you're right, Van City. You are right. Minshew had a good drive too. Like, we can talk about his many drives. Minshew went 6 for 12, 117 yards, and had one touchdown, and that was to DJ Turner. He didn't get sacked at all. He had a passer rating of 112.2. And his leading receiver was Trey Tucker, who had 2 catches for 73 yards. He hit Tucker on a bomb on a 44-yarder. He also hit Jalen Guyton on a 24-yarder, hit DJ Turner for a 20-yard, which was that touchdown pass. And he also scrambled for a bit. He had 1 carry for 7 yards, which picked up the first down. You know, this is who Gardner Minshew is. And we didn't see the turnovers, which is what a lot of people have said for Gardner Minshew, that he's a turnover machine. We didn't see the turnovers. He protected the football. He didn't put the football in harm's way, and we got points out of it. He led 17. He led drives that led to 17 points. Can't beat him up on that. What I would love to see out of Minshew is consistency, and I'll say the same thing for Aiden. Consistency. They both had a very, very good drive. Come the drive against the Cowboys, I hope the Cowboys are going to play their starters out there, because that would mean Gardner Minshew is going to play against starters. And will we see consistency out of Gardner Minshew? If we do, I think we might have to give, depending how Aiden plays, we might have to give Gardner Minshew a shot at being the starter. I like what Aiden brings. And, hey, I said that Aiden O'Connell should be the starter, but I liked what I seen out of Gardner Minshew. And if Gardner Minshew can, AP is saying it, if he can basically show me that, or show AP that, hey, I want the starting position, and he's going to go and take it. If Gardner Minshew does that Saturday, you guys, Gardner Minshew is going to be the starting quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders. And I'll say this right now. If that is what happens, if Gardner Minshew is the starter, I believe that the Raiders need to look elsewhere. Yes, you can develop Aiden O'Connell you want, but he is 26 years. He's going to be 26 years old. How much time do you have with Aiden O'Connell? And you, instead of going and getting a rookie quarterback who is a young buck, yes, does the age hurt Aiden O'Connell? In my opinion, it does, because he's 26 and he's basically going to enter his prime. Let's say we give him a shot and he doesn't pan out. You have to prepare for the worst. I'm not saying don't give Aiden O'Connell a shot, but you got to prepare for the worst. If you let Aiden sit this year, learn under Gardner Minshew, and then you give Aiden O'Connell a shot next year, and you don't draft a quarterback, and Aiden O'Connell goes out there and shits the bed, you're pushing our playoff chances, our Super Bowl chances more and more further. You have to prepare for the worst. Gardner Minshew was 1 game away from taking the Colts to the playoffs last year, and this team is 3 times as good as the Colts team last year. And people always say that. Minshew has never had more than 10 interceptions his entire career. Hey, Van City, you spinning the facts here. Was it his fumbles? Was he having fumble issues? I don't know. But all I've heard was he was a turnover machine. And when I watched, he didn't have a lot of interceptions. But when it came out but you are right, Van City, because he was a drop away. It wasn't even on Minshew that they didn't make the playoffs. He gave a good ball. It hit the running back's hands. He didn't have anybody near him, and it just dropped out of his hands. Minshew was 1 play away from potentially taking the Colts to the playoffs. Sean says, I feel the stronger O-line would help AL12, and a weaker O-line favors Gardner Minshew. Pure pocket passer with accuracy needs an elite O-line. And we've seen it with Derek Carr, right? You gave Derek Carr an elite O-line, and he cooked. I mean, he led us to one of our most winning seasons in almost a decade in 2016. But, you know, we know how the DC experiment happened. Let me pull that up for you, Sean. I got you. Let's pull this up. Let's pull this up. Let me see. So in his career, Gardner Minshew, he started in 37 games. He played in 49. He has a quarterback record of 15-22, and he has a 62.6 completion percentage in his career. He's thrown for 59 touchdowns and 24 interceptions. And Van City is right. He's never had a season where he's thrown over 10 interceptions. Let me see if I can get his fumbles on here. Let me see. Let me see where I don't have his fumbles. Oh, here we go. He's had 30. He has 30 total fumbles in his career. How many fumbles he's lost? I have no idea. Let me see if I can find it. He has 30. Let's see. He recovered 8. So he's lost. I mean, you do the math. He's lost 22 fumbles. He's lost 22 fumbles. So let's see. I gotta do a little bit of math here. So his turnover, if you add that to his interceptions, he has 59 touchdowns to 46 career turnovers. So, I mean, he is kind of a turnover machine. I mean, half of his fumbles lost. I mean, it's his career in interceptions. The thing is, what is going to come down to me, you guys, is consistency. That's what I evaluated with the quarterback room. Hold on, let me fix my camera here, y'all. Camera's like aiming a little bit too down. There we go. That's better. I like that. That's a little bit better. All right. What is going to come down to, you guys, what I think is that Gardner Minshew has to be consistent. He's going to likely start Saturday. I really hope the Cowboys play their starters, because that would really give us a good insight on what Gardner can bring to the team. If Gardner goes out there and isn't consistent, then that gives AOC a shot, because then AOC, if he is consistent and he bounces off what he did last week, then AOC takes the job from Gardner. But I believe Gardner has to have a bad game in order for Aiden to get the starting job. That's my opinion. I mean, what do you guys think? Salute to Indiana, and salute to Yaya in the building. We got my guy Leak Guy. Indiana says, I got AOC starting unless Gardner goes crazy this next game, and maybe he could. Indiana, maybe he could, and that's my thing. If Gardner does go crazy, if he does, throw maybe 1 or 2 more touchdown passes and leads the Raiders to 3 more touchdown drives, or just constantly getting points on the board. I mean, but the thing is, can we beat up Aiden? Aiden still got 3 points. Aiden still got points on the board, but he did get to the 3-yard line, and in that position, you should be able to punch the football in for a touchdown. Now, of course, is it his fault that Pete got blown up? No, it is not. But a lot of people beat up his mobility, and his mobility hurt him there. His mobility hurt him in that situation. And to be fair, if Aiden, go watch the play, you guys, if Aiden steps up and rolls to his left, he has Wilkerson open possibly he has Wilkerson open, because Wilkerson was guarded. But it was a one-on-one matchup. So he could have gave Wilkerson maybe a chance to make a play and could have possibly came down with the touchdown. And that's what I want, Indiana. AP wants that consistency. That's AOC's game. I want the consistency out of the quarterback position. But my question is, Indiana, what if Gardner shows consistency? That he had a good game against the Vikings. What if he has a good game against Dallas? That is what we have to ask ourselves. If Garner has a good game, he had a good game against the Vikings. What would happen if Garner not only playing against first and second stringers, but having good drives? We got to think about that. Sean says AO12 had one drive with the first stringers, and Garner Minshew had 4 drives with the second and third stringers. But Garner still balled out, Sean. I'm not going to take that away from him based off who he went against. I'm gonna need to get like a water. I got hiccups. So to Huey in the chat. Garner does not need to cook against the Cowboys once. He does that, then that can win him the job. And that's what I think. I think Indiana, if he does that, if he does cook against the Cowboys once, that will win him the job. That would win him the job. I think Garner does need to cook. Yeah. So I agree. Yeah, I do agree with you. I thought I was reading that like backwards. But yeah, I agree with that. I think he does, like I said, consistency. And what I mean consistency, he had 3 drives, I believe, that we scored points. 2 touchdown drives and then a field goal. If Garner can reciprocate that on Saturday, I think Garner has a shot to being the starter. Sean says, basically what I'm trying to say is Gardner Minshew did great. I just feel I wish Aiden had 3 more drives. Sean, I think you're not the only one. Like, I feel like you're not the only one, because I agree with you. I would have loved to see more from Aiden. I would have definitely loved to see more from Aiden, because I don't want to use one drive to determine if a guy should be given the starting position or not. Garner had way more drives than Aiden. And Garner, I'm not taking anything away from Garner. He did what he needed to do. He took advantage of the opportunity that was presented to him. He had 4 drives, or I think he had 3 drives, and all 3 drives, he took advantage of it. He led to touchdowns. He led to field goals, but so did Aiden. Aiden led to a field goal. Who's to say Aiden wouldn't have 2 touchdown drives? He was given 1 drive. He took advantage of it, and unfortunately, the play that was drawn up didn't go the way that it benefited Aiden or benefited the team. You know, you got Trey Tucker, Brock Bowers running into each other. You got Andrews Pete basically not even just being there. He was just being there. He literally, bro, Pete was literally he was just there. He was a body. He wasn't like Turner literally just walked right past him, had a free ticket to Aiden O'Connell. You cannot just like I said, you guys, I said this in many of my shows. It is starting to get weird within the Raider Nation of the hate on Aiden O'Connell. Like, you're pointing out one play, and I get it. I get it, because I'm getting tired, and I said that was my biggest thing, not just with Aiden, but in regards to this offense as a whole, is red zone offense. You have to punch it in for a touchdown. When you play the Chiefs, when you play the Chargers, when you play the Broncos, I don't care how we own the Broncos in these past years. And I don't care how the Chargers are built and they're having injury issues. We know who the Chiefs are. They're division rivals. They're division games. Division games can go either way. They can go either way. Did you guys remember when we were 0-10, a rookie quarterback in Derek Carr playing a 7-4 Kansas City Chiefs team that was knocking on the door going into the playoffs? And the Raiders ended up beating the Kansas City Chiefs to secure their first win that year. Division games can go either way, you guys. When it comes to the red zone, the Raiders are going to have to capitalize in the red zone in division games. And we got the Chargers week 1. We got the Ravens week 2. We got, the Panthers week 3. Panthers, they're in the NFC. We got the Browns. That's an AFC, possibly an AFC contender. Those games are going to matter. You got 3 AFC teams, 1 in your division and 2 who are potential playoff teams. Red zone efficiency, red zone touchdowns are a need or a necessity in those types of games. Yes, take whatever points you can get. But this is why I said we need to give Aiden O'Connell more drives. Gardner Minshew went out there and said, yeah, I got 3 points, but I also led to 2 touchdown drives. That matters to me. Gardner Minshew led 2 touchdown drives, but can we argue, would Aiden lead touchdown drives? I can argue he would. He was moving on his first drive deep. I think they were deep in their side of the field too. Aiden marched the length of the field and got 3 points. Who's to say Aiden wouldn't do that again? March the length of the field and possibly punch it in. I could argue that Aiden would get a touchdown if he had another drive in him. Sean says, I think Gardner Minshew is starting on Saturday, so maybe we flip it this week. Gardner gets lesser drives and AL12 more. But Sean, I'm going to be honest, I don't want to see that. Now, to Aiden's, it hurt him, but it was a long drive. I'm not gonna beat up Aiden for it. I actually like that. That's how you're gonna beat Kansas City. Because if Mahomes is not on the field, he's not gonna beat you. But teams like Kansas City, you cannot march the length of the field and score 3 points. You got to march the length of the field and you got to end it with 7. You end it with 7, you're putting yourself in better position because we know Kansas City can strike at any moment. And I know we have a good defense. I know we're praising a lot on this defense, but Kansas City is Kansas City until they get knocked down. I hate to say it, you guys. Kansas City is Kansas City until somebody knocks them down. And I know Raider Nation, we want the Raiders to be the ones to knock the Kansas City Chiefs from their pedestal, to knock them down. We want to be the ones to do that, right? Having that type of drive is not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. So I'm hoping Aiden does get more reps and we can see what he brings. I'm hoping Gardner gets more reps. I don't want Gardner just to get 1 drive either. I want Gardner to get more drives. I would say I would love to see 2 drives out of them too, because I know 1 quarter is not a lot. 1 quarter is not a lot, but I would love to see two drives from Minshew, 2 drives from Aiden. I want to see what can they do with 2 drives. Indiana, Primos, Garner does make plays. I've seen it when he beat us in Indy. He was able to avoid pressure. It was very frustrating. And I've seen it live, Indiana. When I went to the last game in Oakland, I seen it live. What he did to our Raiders when he was on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I would not be upset with Gardner being a starter. I would like Aiden to start because Aiden, he's on a rookie contract. I know we're paying Gardner, a lot of money, but Aiden's on a rookie contract. And if Aiden is the guy, if Aiden can be the guy, and what I mean is by being the guy is that Aiden, like no one can pull that guy out of him, that Aiden takes the bull by the horns and he, like AP said, takes this job. If Aiden can do that, that's 1 less position we have to worry about next season in the offseason. Now we can focus on building an offensive line. We can focus on getting a cornerback too. If Ja'Cory Bennett doesn't pan out, on paying Malcolm Koonce, on paying Nate Hobbs, paying Trayvon Merritt, paying our core guys. We won't have to focus on, okay, what do we need to do for the quarterback position? If Aiden can take it, that's 1 less position we have to worry about. Oh, no, yeah, Indiana. That's why Aiden does get blamed because he backed up. If Aiden stepped up and avoided the sack, I think he could have hit Wilkerson. I think he could have hit Wilkerson for a touchdown. DeMarcus Webb, give Garner the first quarter and AOC the second quarter. I agree, DeMarcus. I agree. Van Cedar said, what if Carlson misses the extra point and it ends in 6? Well, I mean, the quarterback still got 6 points on the board. And then that would just be on Carlson. I would be like, man, Carlson, what you doing, bro? Like, why are we missing extra points out here? I would play Anthony Brown and Carter Bradley and Nathan Peterman more in game 3, less in game 2. I agree, Sean. And especially with AP, I don't know if you guys seen this. AP said that he's hoping to make a decision on the quarterbacks after our Saturday game against the Cowboys. He's hoping to make a decision. No, I know you are, Van City. He hopes to make a decision on Sunday after our game against the Cowboys. And I think you're onto something, Sean. If that is the case, you need all the reps that you can see from Minshew and O'Connell. You need as much intel, as much film to break down to where you can make the right decision to either start Aiden O'Connell or start Gardner Minshew. But I know people are like, well, you don't want to risk injury. I get that. That's why I'm hoping if they just have one drive in quarter, like if Gardner Minshew just has one drive in quarter one, have him start quarter two. Give him one more drive. If Aiden O'Connell has one drive in quarter two, start him in quarter three. Give him one more drive. Give these guys another drive than just one drive. Like, what is gonna hurt? You're gonna see more out of these guys. One drive is not going to tell you what you need to know about a quarterback. And yes, people can argue, well, two drives are not going to tell you. Well, 3 drives in and people want Minshew to start already. So I guess 2 to 3 drives. I don't think it hurts. It hurts the quarterbacks. I don't think it hurts us. And we also have to remember, you guys, Devontae Adams wasn't out there with Aiden O'Connell. You know, the play calling would have been very, very different, and it's vanilla. These are possibly plays that we're probably trying out to see if they're going to work in the regular season. I guarantee the play that ended in a field goal that, you know, had Tucker and Bowers running into each other and AOC getting sacked, I guarantee that play was probably going to get thrown out. This is the time to make mistakes, you guys. Like, Raider Nation, why freak out? It's a preseason game. It's a preseason loss. This is the time to make mistakes, because I'm tired of week 1 mistakes when we need to have our shit together. We need to be 100% locked in. Week 1 is not the time to try out plays to see if they're going to work later in the season. Week 1 is not the time to be, just have Aiden O'Connell go out there and sling it and make mistakes and see where he went wrong. Week 1 is when you come with your A game and you beat the Chargers so bad that their season's already over in week 1. That's what needs to happen week 1. What happened in preseason week 1, that needed to happen. Aiden getting sacked, that needed to happen. Pete getting blown up, that needed to happen, because that's telling the Raiders, do not put Pete at tackle. Do not put Pete at tackle. Tucker and Bowers running into each other, that needed to happen, because now that tells Getsy, I need to draw up the play better. So, Raider Nation, chill out on your panic button. I know you want to press it. I know you've been pressing it for the past 20 years, for the past probably 30. Chill out. It's preseason, you guys. Chill it. We need to chill out. Sean is right. I think Colton and JPJ on being on the pump hurts Aiden. That's another thing that we're not talking about. And I think they should be coming back. I've been hearing reports that they should be returning soon. Hopefully it is soon. It's like, man, if they don't return before the Dallas game, that really is going to hurt Colton, because I would love to see him getting some game time before week 1 and not coming back in week 1, because that essentially is his preseason game. JPJ, same thing. I do not want him getting fed to the Wolves week 1. Like, that can – Colton and JPJ coming back week 1, that can really hurt us. I hope maybe we see some action out of them in game 3 against the Niners. Again, maybe a series, maybe 2 out of Colton and JPJ, just to get their feet wet, get them ready for the season. Sean says, Raider Nation, we are meeting rare dilemma. We never, ever had to pick a starting quarterback battle in camp and preseason. This is very new for us. Tough final decision. And yes, Devontae Adams is back. That's something we got to talk about. Is Devontae Adams is back. He's back. Bro, we got evil Demokes in here. Hey, we got Demokes and evil Demokes up in here. And they both agree. or disagree? We got Minshew MVP incoming. We got AOC MVP incoming. Hey, we got 1 for agreeing with the Mokes. We got 2 for agreeing with evil Demokes. Who we gonna go with? Indiana Raider said Jacoby held his own as wide receiver 1, but it is great to see Devontae's back and just amazing that his baby boy is here. Happy for Devontae. God bless him and his family. And I hope Devontae has a hell of a season. DeMarcus is saying, let that man Primos cook. Hey, it's preseason, DeMarcus. I don't know why Raider Nation is hitting that panic button. We haven't even hit week 1 yet. Van City says, I would just start Peter Goat. Problem solved. Bro, Van City, you stupid. But in other things that I see, you guys, I don't want to kill the quarterback dead is this defense. Because now I seen Raider Nation start hitting the panic button on the defense. Like, oh no, see, our defense sucks again. We can't get pressure to the quarterback. Our secondary sucks. Our linebackers suck. The secondary was third stringers that might not even make the roster. And our starters, yes, you would love to see a 4-man rush get to the quarterback. But Jack Jones got an interception. Why? Because pressure got to J.J. McCarthy, and he ended up getting picked. He forced the throw, and he ended up paying the price for it. I love shit like that. Hey, you didn't get to the quarterback, but you made him uncomfortable, forced a turnover. Now we got the ball back. Then, as the game went on, J.J. McCarthy started cooking, started shredding our defense. Had a wide open 45-yard pass, and then had another 30 or 25-yard pass, another wide open. Guys, Chris Smith, MJ Devonshire is the ones that got beat on those plays. Is MJ Devonshire really going to be a starter on this football team? Is Chris Smith going to be a starter on this football team? Probably not. MJ Devonshire has to go through Jack Jones, Nate Hobbs, and Ja'Cory Bennett. He's not going to make the roster. Okay, he's probably going to be on the practice squad. He's not going to make the roster. And then, like Sean said, there's still rumors going around that we're looking at a corner, a vet, like an Adoree Jackson. Hey, and we might, who knows? Stephon Gilmore, possibly. Brandon Faison's going to get out of here too, just like Sean said. He's not even playing. Salute to Chris for Raiders. Salute to Orlando in the building. Also, in Orlando, yes, talk, bro. It's preseason. We're getting upset because of guys that are probably not even going to make the roster, that are getting beat. And, bro, MJ Devonshire got forced. He got caught looking in the backfield. JJ knew exactly where he wanted to go, launched it up. Chris Smith was too late to get over. Touchdown Vikes. Come on, you guys. It's basically live practice. I don't know why we are overreacting to guys that, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is, man. Indiana, we ran a base defense only that entire drive. Don't worry, nation. I'm not worrying, Indiana. You're not getting any worry from me. Van City, you being on Stephon Gilmore. JB becomes depth, and I think these guys believe in Bennett. I think they do. Believe in Bennett, and from what I've seen out of Bennett, I think, did he play in the preseason? I mean, if you played in the preseason, I didn't hear anything out of Bennett. I didn't see anything out of him. And as a corner, I believe that's a good thing. Chris Ford, no big thing. It was a vanilla scheme. Yeah, Chris. That's why I'm not worried. Patrick Graham has probably so many things dialed up that, of course, he's not going to show in preseason. Same thing with Luke Getsy. This is, like I said, you guys, early in the show, this is the time to try out new plays, to make mistakes, and see who is going to help the Raiders win ball games come the regular season, and see what plays are going to put players in position to make plays for the Raiders. And Sean, you might be honest something. Chris Smith might have been overexposed by that Georgia front seven. And I think Chris Smith gets cut and we keep Trey Taylor. Trey Taylor had him. He had an up and down game, but he wasn't getting cooked like Chris Smith. He was not getting cooked like Chris Smith, man. Chris Smith was getting torched out there. He blew 2 coverages that both led to touchdowns. The one that MJ Demonshire got beat on, and then I don't know who the heck was covering the other guy, but Chris Smith was his nearest guy in the vicinity, and the guy had his back turned to Chris Smith. So I don't know what it is out there. Indiana says, once we brought JB at corner 2 and Hobbs nickel, we stopped them in the red zone. The Vikings couldn't do anything against our starters. Like, that's why I'm not understanding, Indiana, why some people in the nation are freaking out about our defense. Like, all of a sudden. I really don't understand it. Demo, some Raiders fans just need something to be mad at. Man, play Madden. Play online. That'll definitely make you mad. And it's like, you know what, Demokes? And I want to go back to this. I understand some people are upset, especially like the elder Raider fans that have seen greatness, seen the Raiders' glory times. I understand why they're upset because they're tired of getting their hopes up and being let down. I get that. But Josh McDaniels went 6-1 in the preseason. Are we really tripping about wins and losses? Are we really tripping about development here? Jimmy G, in his one drive, went 6 for 6 and led it to it was a touchdown drive in preseason against the Rams. Went on in the regular season and completely looked like shit. Like, come on, you guys. What are we talking about here? Like, we're really tripping about preseason. It's live practice, basically. It's joint practice, but you can hit the quarterback. Basically. Like, come on. What do we like? I don't know, man. Van City, our defense is going to be just fine. They were probably told to go out there and run at 40%. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, and that's another thing. No one got injured besides Harrison Bryant, who took a hospital ball from Gardner Minshew. But even he might be fine. Like, come on, you guys. Like, and not you guys, just people in the nation that are here, if they're listening to this. Like, let's not hit the panic button until it's like week 6, week 7 in the regular season. And if I got a sneeze coming. We're like 1-6, 2-5, 3-4. Yeah, maybe I might hit the panic button a little bit because I don't think we should be 3-4. You guys, like, I got us going 10-7, but I got us beating the Chargers. I got us beating the Panthers, the Browns, the Broncos, the Steelers. Like, by week 7, we should be like 5-1, maybe 4-2 at the worst. Just based off the opponents that we're going against. If we're 3-4, 2-5, yeah, I'm hitting the panic button because that means you took losses possibly to the Panthers or maybe to the Browns or the Steelers, who I think we're better than. On paper, we are better than, but yes, I get it. We got to still play the games, but great teams, playoff teams, beat teams that they're supposed to beat. Sean, that game was like 2 games. The first half and second half was completely 2 different games. It was. One was us, our starters smacking their starters, and then the second half was our third stringers and fourth stringers, practice squad players that were getting tossed all around by theirs. Yeah, safety room is stacked like the tight ends. You got Palomalo, we got Merrick, we got Epps, we got Trey Taylor, who he didn't have a bad game out there. Chris said, I'm an older fan, but not mad at all. Just waiting for the dynasty to start. That's all we can do. Sean says, just to let you know, tomorrow night, 40,000 fans get to be at the practice tomorrow at the stadium live. And we probably are going to get a lot of different intel coming out of the practice tomorrow. Huey, they drove right down the field, vice offense versus possession. And how did it end? Let me see. Because I was hearing Sam Darnold was like having his way. Let me see. He passed 19 yards to Naylor. It seemed they were stopping the run game. Then he passed 26. Dang, Merrick again. 3 yards. 7. Oh, they went for it on first or they went for it on fourth down. Hey, Huey. The defense, no points. That's all I see. You could drive down the field all you want. It ended in a donut. And I know in a regular season game, the Vikings probably would take 3 points, but in preseason, the defense, no points. And I would take that all day, every day. Hey, they did, Huey. I mean, I was reading the stats, but no points. No points. Angry Raiders fans blame everything on Raiders like Timmy's dad on Dinkelberg. Van City, if Nathan Peter Goat doesn't start week 3 primos, we having it out in Lot J before the game. You stupid. Huey, we got to still learn how to win, though. No, Huey, I get you. I get you. It was not a good way to learn how to win by taking a loss like that. I get that. But I would rather make the mistakes now in week 1, in the week 1 preseason, hell, even week 2 preseason. I would rather make mistakes now and then come week 1, we break the bricks off the Chargers. Because I want to ask you this, Huey, and the 15 people in the chat. Let me ask you guys this. Would you guys rather go 0-3 in the preseason and go 10-7 and possibly making the playoffs in the regular season? Like, what would you guys rather do? Because I would take that option all day, every day. If it takes for us to go 0-3 in preseason and make all the mistakes that we need to make in preseason for week 1 to come, and we absolutely dog walk the Chargers and we blow them out, or even we beat them, it could be a close game, 24-21, whatever the case may be. But the Raiders walk out of week 1 with a win. I'm not complaining about preseason. I'm not going to complain about preseason. Week 1 through week 18 is what matters. Preseason week 1 through preseason week 3, I don't give a shit what happens. Make all the mistakes you want to make. Do the good things. Great. I want to see that shit in the regular season. I just don't want to see it in the preseason. Jack Jones, you got an interception preseason week 1? Great. Week 1 of the regular season, I want to see an INT. I want to see you intercepting Herbert. Aiden O'Connell, you led the team down the field, your first drive in preseason. Great. I want to see that. Week 1. Gardner Minshew, if you're the starter, you led the Raiders to 17 points. Great. I want to see that. Week 1 against the Chargers. That it doesn't matter what we do if we do great things in preseason, great. Show up to LA and do it in week 1. You don't, then preseason makes. Why get happy over preseason? Why get happy over the preseason? Because Josh McDaniels had us getting happy at preseason. And then we go out there, week 1, Derek Carr throws 3 interceptions. We lose 24-19 against the Chargers, followed up with a 17-16 win against the Broncos. It was a win. I'll give it that. Didn't give me hope because the following week we got our asses kicked by the Buffalo Bills, which proved to me we were not a playoff team under Josh McDaniels. Because if you were a playoff team, that game would have been closer. I still had it as a loss. I had us losing against the Bills, but we got our asses kicked, which proved to me we were not a playoff team. We got hyped over preseason for what? So week 1, Las Vegas Raiders, whatever you do in the preseason does not matter because week 1, I expect dominance. I expect pain. I expect you guys to be physical and make the Chargers season over before it even started. Salute to Top Beast for pulling up in the building. Leak Eye, run defense and clock management calling, them timeouts, got to clean that up. And AP apologized for it, Leak Eye. AP said that's not going to happen again. He's holding himself accountable. He said that is not going to happen again. Hey, special team showing up too, Sean. Leak Eye, it would have been a blowout. If it was a regular season game, it would have been a blowout. I'm convinced it would have been a blowout. Chris, exactly. Exactly. Doesn't mean anything. These games don't count to our regular season record. I don't know why we tripping about a preseason win or loss. What happens if we have to go to our third quarterback? Who will it be? I want to see what Bradley can do, man. They did him dirty, bro. He all he had was run plays, if I'm not mistaken. He only had run plays. Man, give this guy a chance to sling the ball, show what he can do by throwing the football. Sean's, did Devontae Adams gonna take that LA Chargers game personal? And we don't even know how healthy Herbert's gonna be in a brand new offense. He's gonna get caught up to speed. He could be out, possibly, but I don't want him to be out, Sean. I mean, I don't want to play Herbert while he's injured either, but that's why I'm hoping Herbert has a speedy recovery. I want to break the bricks off the Chargers, and there be no excuses. No excuses. I want to beat teams fair and square. I don't want an easy win. Beat these teams fair and square. And then after Herbert faces us, then he can sit his ass on the bench. Van City is looking to fight somebody. And Huey's like, yeah, 0-3 easily. Bro, Chris, talk that shit, bro. Those samples are fire, though. Those samples be fire. Demokes, next week's preseason is important, though. This game will determine our quarterback this year. Demokes, I agree with you. I'm talking about what doesn't matter is in regards to wins or losses. If we win or we lose, or if the defense is trying out different plays and plays don't work, or the offense is trying out plays and the plays don't work. These are plays they can just throw away. Now, in regards to Gardner Minshew as a player and Aiden O'Connell as a player, yes, your play matters. You two, your play matters because your play is going to determine whose play we're going with in week one. But in regards to what plays they're running or if we win or we lose, I don't care. But yes, Minshew or O'Connell, yeah, their play specific. Them as a player, them only, yes. Yes, that's what I'm saying, Huey. Come week one, I just want to be looking right. I don't want to be looking like, damn, regular season's here and we still in preseason. We still in preseason mode. I don't want that to happen. Sean, Devontae Adams, oh wait, I already read that. Leak Guy said, watch this. We lose the next preseason game. Fans going for more heads to be fired. And I'm going to know who I'm going to be rocking with, Leak Guy. I'm going to be knowing who I'm going to be rocking with. And it's going to be every single one of you guys in the chat. And if you don't, and if you do want people fired, you can still come in the chat. I'm just not going to agree with you. Don't come in the chat and expect me to agree with you because I'm not. Now, if Garner goes out there and shits the bed, or Aiden goes out there and shits the bed, or they both go out there and shit the bed, then yes, I'm going to come on here. I'm about to come for some people's heads. But it's specifically going to be Garner. It's going to be Aiden. Because those are the guys that are possibly going to be the starting quarterback for our Raiders come week one. Indiana, talk that shit, bro. Like Graf would say. Talk that shit because that's true. McDummy was best in the preseason. 6-1 record in the preseason. He only won 8 games in the regular season with us, y'all. Did you see ML Football post that thing on Twitter today? I swear they love rubbing it in. What was it? I think I might have seen it. What was it? What was it? What was it, Van City? Let me see if I see it. I don't see nothing. So DeMarcus, Primos, what do you think about the team picking up another guard in free agency? Feels like that room is thin right now. Actually, DeMarcus, I don't think it's thin. I think Pete is not a tackle. If you move Pete to guard, I think Pete can be better at guard. And then you can keep Cody Whitehair for depth piece too. I think we have to wait for JPJ to come back. That's why it is imperative, DeMarcus. I want to see what JPJ looks like at the guard position because he didn't play guard in college. He played center. I want to see what he does at guard. If he holds his own at the guard position, then there's some good things in the guard. And then you can have Cody Whitehair at depth. You can have Pete at depth. Pete is, from what I'm hearing, Pete's a better guard than he is a tackle. He proved that last week. He is not a tackle. He cannot be put in a tackle position. He's good at guard. And like Chris said, I don't know any guards out there that would even be worth looking at. Sean, is Dallas defense for real or Stenton Bennett's ass? He's just ass, Sean. Like, go look at those 4 interceptions. They were right to the defense. Like, he was seeing ghosts. He pulled a Sam Darnold. He was looking at ghosts. Go look at the game. I looked at the highlights. He was throwing it right to people. He was throwing it right to the defense. Literally was a gift. Van C said, I'm glad you addressed that, Primos. I was going to ask what Costco samples did to Chris. That's funny. That is funny. Let me see. Let me get down. Huey says, we got to wait till preseason cuts. Might find some gems. And that's what I want to see, Huey. That is what I look at for these preseason games. Like, let's talk about looking forward to week 2. What am I looking forward to seeing against the Cowboys? What I'm looking forward to see is our corner room. Our starters held their own. Ja'Cory Bennett, Nate Hobbs, Jack Jones. We seen what they can do. They held their own. When it came to the backups, when they came in, bro, they were getting cooked out there. They were getting cooked. I want to see who's going to step up and who's going to be like the backup, to Ja'Cory, who's going to be the backup. Well, Ja'Cory is probably the backup to Jack, but who is going to be those depth pieces? We need to see who can be possible. Like, I want to see what Amari Burney, can he bounce off the game that he had last week? I want to see him get some more reps. Amari Gaynor, same with him. I want to see what he can get, what he can do. Get some more reps. Can you bounce off the guys that had a really solid game last week? Can they feed off of that and feed off of that momentum and take it into this week against the Cowboys and have another good game? And with the secondary and Trey Taylor, I want to see, can he bounce off a good game? But the rest of the secondary, y'all need to step it up. Same with the offensive line. Dylan Labe had a really tough game. Didn't help with the offensive line not opening up any holes for him. Can the backup offensive line, can you guys open up holes for Dylan Labe? Can we see Dylan Labe work with the number 1s, work with the number 2s? Let's see. We heard the hype out of Dylan Labe out of camp. Let's see what he can bring when he's working with the starters. And he said, I sent you that thing Van Cito was talking about in your D. Let me see. Oh, it was that. Oh, yeah, it was that. Yeah, I did see that. And people think I was bullshitting. That does hurt. Just to give you guys context, what they're talking about. Basically, ML Football they said in 2023, the Raiders GM, Dave Ziegler, had a deal in place to trade up for the 2nd overall pick to draft C.J. Stroud, and head coach Josh McDaniels overruled Ziegler. Instead, Josh McDaniels signed Jimmy Garoppolo to a 3-year, $72 million deal instead. McDaniels literally ran this team into the ground, and Ziegler will get another shot somewhere. Just had to remind me. But anyways, you guys, that's what I'm looking forward to in week 2. We're gonna be back Friday. Well, maybe if I got time tomorrow, work has been killing me. That's why we were not live as much last week. I've been working a lot of late nights. I'm getting ready to go to this. I'm getting ready for this Vegas trip. Come week 3, rocking with you guys up in Vegas for the Panthers versus the Raiders. So if I'm not live, you guys, is because I'm trying to catch you guys in person. If you guys are going to be out there for the Raiders versus Panthers, I'm trying to catch you guys in, face to face, have, talk some Raiders with you guys, have some drinks with you guys and just have fun out there. So if we're not live, I'm getting ready for Vegas. That's what's going down. But if I got time tomorrow, we'll be back here tomorrow. If not tomorrow, we'll be back Friday. I'm gonna try to get Nate on, and we might have our other Primo. I don't know if you guys remember him, Primo Chippy. I'm gonna see what he's doing on Friday, see if he can pull up, and we're gonna preview the Dallas and Raiders game. I'm gonna get their thoughts on how they feel about the quarterback position, how they feel about the corners, and we're gonna talk about this team all through and through, you guys. Chris, you can ask Primos and Sean. I put on for Nate. Hey, Van City is one of the most diehard Canadian Raider fans you'll ever meet. I'll say that right now. But anyways, you guys, on the way out, you guys have not subscribed already and you love what Raiders Primos is bringing to you guys, please hit that subscribe button. It costs you guys nothing. Help us grow. Next goal is 1K. We got over 500, and it's thanks to the Raider Nation. I believe we can grow up to 1K this season. Also, hit that like button on the way out and hit that bell so you guys are not missing anything Raiders Primos that we are bringing to the table. I appreciate every single one of you guys for pulling up. I know it's a late night. I know people got work, and you guys still pulled up. I appreciate that, you guys. I believe Graf is having the roundtable. I don't know if we started at the same time, if they're still live. If they are still live, go over there. Go. I know I'm gonna pull up over there if they're still live. I don't know if they're still live. But yes, you guys, just thank you guys so much. And like Indiana said, on the way out, you guys, let me get a Raiders. As always, man, I love y'all. Appreciate every single one of you guys. And we are out of here. Peace.